So this is going to be my review of Spider-Man Dr. Octopus Year 1. This was written by Zeb Wells and artwork by Carrie Andrews. Now, this is pretty much a 5-part miniseries that came out in 2004, 2 years after the Spider-Man movie, so this wasn't done as I kind of figured this was not done as a gimmick for the Spider-Man 2 movie. But the reason why I got this was, well, actually no, there's three reasons why I got this. First being, as you all know, after my Spider-Man top 10 Spider-Man villains, most of you guys should know that Dr. Octopus is my favorite Spider-Man villain. Second reason was why I got this was Tori GNR1 told me about this book, and he said he loved the hell out of it. He said this is one of his favorite Spider-Man miniseries. And 3, I found it at a bookstore for about $5. Yeah, I know. Cheap. But this is good. This is a fantastic book. I love it. This is pretty much a complete retelling of the origin of Dr. Octopus, as most of you can tell from the Year 1 story. This pretty much focuses, even though Spider-Man is at the top, and we do see Spider-Man in this book, the thing is, this all focuses on Otto Octavius, from him being a child, from his first time as a villain. Now, as most of you guys would know, the first time Dr. Octopus showed up in Amazing Spider-Man, he was in a hospital, and Spider-Man fought him and lost, and then came back and beat his ass. That's it. In here, it's a complete changing, but they keep the true to most of the origin of it. Dr. Octopus in here, or Otto, I should say, for the first 2 issues, you pretty much, well, I should say, through the whole story, you pretty much get Otto's point of view from his early days. You know, as a child, with an overprotective mother and his incredibly abusive father. In fact, how Zeb Wells manages to write Octavius is amazing. He pretty much, when Otto's dad dies, he pretty much, he is laughing. I wouldn't say laughing, but he is actually joyous that his father died of a heart attack, and he just wished that he suffered more for, the abuse he put him through. And he's telling this all to the preacher at the sermon, right after 2 minutes after the funeral. Octavius is just telling him that, he is telling the preacher everything. And he's like, if your imaginary sky god can be merciful to my father, then what hope do I have as a Christian? That's pretty much what Otto Octavius says. And this is a this is pretty much the kind of Octavius we've been seeing now throughout the comics. This very dark, very in-depth with science type persona. I mean, he's always been with science, but in here it's like he worships it as a god in some ways. In here, pretty much we get the construction of the tentacles, and we get how it happened in a different way. It's pretty much he was working on atomic material, and it caused his tentacles to be fused to his back. But he doesn't see it as like a curse. He sees it like he's been reborn as a child of the atom, which I find really interesting. I'm sorry for the background noise if the mic's going to pick that up. But this is really good. And of course, yes, Spider-Man does appear in here. Even Octavius and Peter Parker meet. They meet in a high school. Octavius is there giving a class, and he bumps into Peter Parker, who got picked on by Flash Thompson, and he tells him, he has a lot of sympathy for Parker. But for the most part, Spider-Man is more like a supporting character. He basically is just there, to fight Dr. Octopus for the most part. And he does have some amazing dialogue for the short part, because Peter doesn't really talk a lot. In fact, there's another scene where Otto and his mother are watching Spider-Man when he first showed up. He revealed himself to TV, and he wanted to be like a TV star, basically, if everyone remembers the original origin. Other thing was, the things between Otto and his mom were creepy. Not like incestual creepy. It's more like his mother is so overprotective. Like, there's another character we see in here called Mary Alice. She basically is Dr. Octavius's lab partner and kind of love interest. She falls in love with Otto, and he's trying to, get his feelings together, but his mother kind of just completely breaks him of that love for her, any sign of it. And she basically says, you're throwing away your work for some dumb girl, you're above everything. And then we see a few pages later that she's been dating a soldier on the base they've been working on for the atomic material. So, and of course, Otto does not take too lightly to that. This is just all in all a really good book. There are some really amazing things that Zeb Wells manages to pull off in here that really speak true to the Octopus I know. In fact, there are other scenes where, as of course this is talking about the atomic age, this is kind of like in the 60s, where the whole nuclear power, ooh, it's bad. And Octavia and Otto is talking to a pretty much a hippie, and he's telling him, he's like, yeah, our kids are bad, and this is bad for our kids. And he's like, have you lived off coal energy? And he's like, yeah, coal's cool. Really now, is it? Because hundreds of people died in early days of London because of coal suffocation. He's like, yeah, well, it's part of the... I doubt you'd like to live by that, good sir. Screw off. He doesn't say screw off, but that's pretty much what he tells him. This is pretty cool. In fact, in here, Octavius, Doc Ock has a, kind of a thing, I wouldn't say, kind of like a obsession with trying to befriend Spider-Man, because he kind of sees him as like a kindred spirit. And it's kind of interesting how he actually fights Spider-Man the first time they meet, because he's trying to get him on his side. He's like, I'm like you, we should be one and the same. And of course, Spider-Man's not like that. And like I said, Spider-Man does not say a lot in here, nor does Peter Parker. But all in all, this is really good. Of course, as a huge fan of Dr. Octopus, as I am, I loved it. And even if I wasn't, I still would have loved this book. Tori GNR1, if you're watching this, thank you so much for telling me to get this book. It was awesome. For anyone else out there wondering if you want to get this book, it's $13.99 in US and $22.50 in Canada. I don't know about the other countries, I'm sorry. But this is really good. It's really dark. The artwork by Carrie Andrews, it really fits, in my opinion. It really fits the kind of all these distorted... You see a lot of distorted images, either from just the artwork or just from Otto's point of view. And it's really good. Like, you really see how twisted Otto has become through all this. So, all in all, I highly recommend this book. If you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're a Dr. Octopus fan, and even if, though, you just know a little bit about Dr. Octopus or Spider-Man, I'd still say pick this up. You will really enjoy it, because it's pretty much, like I said, a really good... This is the perfect version of a retelling done right. So, Zeb Wells, I applaud you for this. This was awesome. But all in all, guys, just check that book out. It is amazing. And I'm done fangasming all over it. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'm out.